Yeah, good. Very good afternoon, Rob. You okay? Busy yesterday, Rob?
Going on, yeah. Fairness. It all happened pretty quickly, yeah.
We'll start with Rob, and we'll do the broadcast bits and we'll next door to the dailies. I don't believe anybody's live, but Rob, if you'd like to start.
Brendan, good to see you, mate. Can I start with that? Obviously, it's the biggest news in the Premier League, biggest news in football right now. Jose Mourinho back in the Premier League. How do you view it? Because a lot of people were sorry to see Pochettino go. Is it an improvement, swapping Pochettino for Mourinho, in your eyes?
Well, I think you first have to say well done to both Tottenham and to Maurizio for the time they were together. You know, when he joined back there in 2014, he came in and created a culture and an environment for players to develop. And then over the course of his time there, you could see the growth of the team, the growth of the club. So between him and Daniel, the relationship with was obviously strong, and everything grew from that. And obviously it's always sad when a manager leaves his post and his job, but I think everyone can look back and reflect on the brilliant job that he did there, and with the players, and like I say, the training ground and the stadium. And he'll go away now and rest and come back, I'm sure, into a great job. Bringing in Jose, then you're bringing in someone who's won throughout his career and throughout his life as a manager, and he'll go in there and look to bring his many qualities into a really, really strong group of players, and like I say, he'll want to do what he has always done, which is to win.
You know him very well, of course, because it was Jose who gave you the role at Chelsea in the youth academy in 2004, I think it was. What is he like? What will he bring to Tottenham?
Well, Jose's a winner. I think that he has been that throughout his career. Like I say, he brings an intensity. In the time that I worked with Jose, he was a big influence for me back then as a young coach. Just his level of detail, his focus, his quality. He'd a wonderful quality with people. He was absolutely brilliant for me in the time there. Was very open, like myself. He liked to communicate. He was very open with his ideas, and he was a real leader of the squad and the team. And he was very clear on how he wanted them to work. So for a young coach, for me back then, it was great I was in pole position to see how he operated, and he was absolutely brilliant in that time there. And like I say, he's different, to some coaches, but he goes in there and his sole focus is to win, and clearly that's what Tottenham were wanting him for.
In what way is he different to other coaches, would you say?
Well, no, I just think that there's different types of coaches and managers that will go in and maybe want to be at a club for a period of time and look to create an environment and a culture that allows players to grow and develop. But you also know you have to win that way as well. Jose will come in and his focus is to win trophies. So that's what he'll be looking to do there.
There are some reports suggesting that you were on Spurs' shortlist, even that you were ahead of Jose on their shortlist to take over if Maurizio left. What do you make of that? What can you tell us about that? Were you aware of anything?
Well, Rob, there's nothing to talk on it. Like this game, it's full of gossip and speculation. The only thing I will say is I was very, very happy here at Leicester. I've literally just joined the club in February. Everything has been great since we've been in. We have a project here that we want to develop over the next numbers of years. And my sole focus, along with my team and the staff and the club here, has been that. So, listen, in this game, what I've learnt is that you'll always be linked with jobs and speculation around other jobs. But what's most important is the now, and I'm very, very happy here to develop and work with the club in order to help the club develop and improve.
Is there any job that could tempt you away from here at the moment?
It's not even. Listen, Rob, it's Christ. I think it's something now. What happens in football is that if you go through times when you're doing well and you work well, everyone wants to take you away from that. So I'm very happy in my professional life. Very happy in my life here personally in Leicestershire. It's a great place to live and to work, and we've created a real unity here at the club. And like I said, I came in here with a responsibility to help Top and Susan and John and all the players and staff here to help the club grow. And in my time here, that's what I aim to do. How long that will be, you can never tell. But I'm very happy to be here.
Good man. Can I ask you about James Maddison?
Yes.
There was a suggestion on England duty that he had a bit of a calf strain ahead of that second game and might face a fitness test. We've seen him out training today. Is he okay? Is he good to go?
Yeah. Nah, James is fine. He's trained the last few days, so he's okay.
And of course, he's made his England debut now. He's now an England international. What will that do for him, do you think? Has he had a bit of a ribbing from some of the rest of the teammates, or are they just pleased to see him there?
Suppose you're going to ask when's he going to get his second cap. I think we're all very happy for James. I think that I think for James it's about preference. And what I mean by that is he's been in the Premier League now, about 18 months, and England have a number of really, really good players. But for Gareth and his staff, it's just about what they want to and who they want to play. I don't think there's any doubt in James Maddison that he can play. If you look at his numbers in terms of offensively, this season, the goals he's scored, the goals he's created. And not only that, he's shown that he's a big game player. He scored goals against Liverpool, against Tottenham, against Arsenal, so he's a big game player. The bit that I've been really pleased with him is the bit that maybe some people will look at and think that he's not so good at, to be a number 8, which is that sort of defensive side. But that wouldn't be the case now. I think it's one of the areas I highlighted when I came into here, that if he's to play in that position, he needs to be really good at his pressing, intercepting, blocking. Now, I'm not massively into stats, but when I look at his numbers around that side of his game, he's nearly up 50% in terms of how he presses the game, the number of interceptions he's getting back and blocks. Now, if you rank that with other players in the position, that pits him alongside the likes of Jordan Henderson. Now, you would never say that if you just look at the naked eye. And I know Jordan really well. Jordan's a brilliant player, and his big strength is that pressing and how aggressive he is in getting the ball by. Now, James ranks alongside the likes of Jordan and one or two other players in the Premier League. Now, if you tag onto that his creative side, then what you have is a fantastic football player who's learning and developing. So for me, with James, he's in amongst a lot of very, very good players with England. It's just a bit preference. If Gareth and his staff want to pick him, you can see that he's at the level. If not, then he will continue to work. He doesn't expect to play. He's not entitled, but of course he loves playing and would hopefully get many more caps for his country.
That's an interesting analogy there, because what you've just said about James Maddison seems to apply to your team as a whole. What we've seen is an attacking flair, breaking the records with scoring 9 goals, an incredible attacking force, and yet the stats today will tell you that you're top of the stats in Europe for tackling and recovering the ball. You've got the best defensive record in the Premier League. So actually, that's the bit of the game that we don't see so much, but you must be absolutely delighted with the strength at that end of the field as well as at the other end. Well,
that was the first part to our project when we come in. I think that everyone only sees that creative side and the really nice bits of the game. But to be a top team, you have to be able to defend well. You have to be able to press the game. Fundamentally, you need to be able to defend. And from our strikers right the way through to our goalkeeper, the team is, they have to be able to do that. And any good side has to be able to defend well. So yeah, because that's your base. That's where you build your attacking side. And so we have to continue with that.
Any other team news for us? No Pereira, Chilwell or Tielemans training. Anything of a concern for them?
No, nothing. No, they've come through sort of two games for their countries, and obviously both players put in a lot over the course of the games. So we just gave them a lighter day today. But they're fit and fine, and the whole squad, absolutely everyone fit. Matty James is back in now, so it's great to see him training. He's a fabulous player. Hopefully he can have a little bit of luck in terms of staying fit. He's a wonderful football player, but it's just going to be him time to get his football fitness. But other than that, everyone is available.
Good man. Thanks, Brendan.
The international break, clearly you can't plan when it arrives, but you're in such great form going into it. Is there any fear that that's interrupted anything?
No, not really. No, it's there. We know it's there. You know, before our last international break, we lost against Liverpool, and then we came and refocused and played very well in the games in between up until now. So I think it is important when players come back from international duty that you press the reset button again, because lots of them come in playing from different styles and different ways. So when they come back, it's important that they come back into the Leicester way and how we work. And the players have been excellent in training since they've come, and we'll be ready for the game.
Brighton on Saturday, how do you assess their start to the season?
Yeah, they've done very, very well. I think Graham's gone in, and of course it was difficult coming in after Chris, because Chris done a great job there. Graham's gone in with a different idea with his staff and how to work, and in particular at home they've been very, very impressive. You know, they look to build the game from behind, have confidence. Lots of players there that have come through, which has been great to see. You know, come through the lower levels of the pyramid here in England, and are now playing in the Premier League. You know, like Dale Stevens, who's a fantastic footballer. I know Lewis can't play, but I've known him since he was a young player, so it's been brilliant to see the rise of these guys now playing in the Premier League. So they'll be a threat. You know, like I say, they've got a good idea of how to play the game. They can flip systems in the game if they have to. So we know it'll be a really good test, but I think they know it'll be a good test as well.
Graham Potter, similarly, you were talking about some of them coming from the lower divisions. He's not had the most orthodox of routes into management, with working in a university, working abroad in Sweden. What do you think of the way that he's gone into management and the job he's done in his first Premier League season?
Yeah, there's no set path to be a manager or coach. Some will come in from different ways. You can go from playing straight in, and you know, your path is your path. He's obviously was a very good player. Graham has then gone away, like you said, gone to Sweden, done a great job. Came back into Swansea, and in his time there, did very well in the circumstances that he was in, which led to him getting the job at Brighton. So now he's very clearly an excellent manager. I don't know Graham, but you can see in his teams he does his work, and he wants them to play in an attacking way. So I think his path has been great.
The last time you went to the South Coast, you clearly had a fantastic result down there. You are the team that absolutely no one really wants to face at the moment.
Well, you aim as a team to make it as difficult as you can for your opposition that you're playing. That's you want, both with and without the ball. But we respect every team that we play. You know, this league's a very, very tough league. You have to earn every point that you make. I think what's important for us is that we resist this feeling over these next couple of months now of people trying to say what you can do and what you can't do. You know, you just got to stay very focused and stay calm. There's a tough schedule now ahead of us over these next couple of months, which will need the whole squad in. And then it's just about that persistence, you know, just focusing on the next game, being ready, being prepared, keep our processes in place, and keep performing.
Well, you say that within the team. Is that really easy to do? Because certainly as outsiders, we're all looking at the next 5 results, 5 games. You've got teams who are in the bottom half of the table. The rest of the country is looking at thinking, oh, Leicester, where will they be in 5 games' time?
And that's why you're sat there and I'm sat here. I think it's very, very easy for me to do that, with all due respect. Football is very, very difficult to forecast. It would be great, you look at the next 5 games and think that's the points that we get. I don't know what team and what game Brighton are going to bring. I can only try and prepare our team, and that's why I always only focus on the next game. I learnt very quickly, I think when I was younger, you try to set goals over the course of how many points do you get in these set of 10 games or 5 games. I learnt an experience now that it's the next game which is important, and then focus on your own game, because there's so many variables in football. So we'll focus on ourselves, respect the opponent, and see where it takes us.
Great stuff. Finally, can I just ask you about Harvey Barnes? We saw him earlier in the week. I met him a couple of times since he's come through the ranks, and he's grown in confidence now. He's played consistently for you now. How much has he developed just in the time from the start of the season when you've seen him to the lad he is now? Yeah,
I think there's still a lot of development for Harvey. I think he's gaining confidence at the level. He's got great profile. He's very fast. He's dynamic. He's got 2 very good feet, and he's starting to create more goals, I think, in terms of assists and that. He's starting to build on that. He got a fantastic goal away at Sheffield United, and I think over the space of the next few years you'll see him developing to more assists and more goals. But he's a wonderful boy to work with, and like I say, he's a real threat in any game he plays, and I've been delighted with him.
He's not with the under-21s now. He's too old. He was with them in the summer for the tournament. Is he? I mean, us as journalists are kind of looking at what Leicester players could be going maybe with England away in the summer. Is he an outside chance of getting into Gareth Southgate's squad if he keeps playing and developing the way he is?
Well, yeah, I just think there's opportunity there for all the players. I think if you look at in that area of the field, England at this moment, they're very, very strong. with Marcus Rashford, he's a big talent. Raheem on the other side, young Jordan Sancho playing as well. Yeah, I think if it may be too soon next summer, but certainly over his time at Leicester, I can see him developing and obviously being a threat. But you never know. He just needs to concentrate on Leicester having a really strong season with ourselves, and you never know what the summer brings.
Hi, Brendan. You mentioned about short-term goals. We're now 4 months away from the next international break after 3 quite quick ones as well. How do you break down those months into short-term goals for your side? Because it kind of looked a little bit easier before when you were, there's 4 games here and then there's a break, and then 4 games here and then there's a break, but now no break. So how do you break down those games into those short-term fixture blocks?
Well, not really. Just focus on the next game. Obviously, we plan forward and look at the games and all the logistics and everything around that. But the focus is actually just on trying to win the next game. We know there's a busy schedule, especially coming into December. There's a lot of games, and like I say, we're going to need all the squad to fulfil the goals that we want to achieve and over the course of the season. But yeah, it's just planning. It's planning forward and then hoping that you get that little bit of luck along the way with injuries and whatnot. But like I say, I repeat, I don't tend to forecast that we'll get 5 games. I want 10 points out of 15, because you have to be greedy and look to win every game.
With that, then, you say you want to win every game. Is 15 points the kind of expectation that you might have, or is there no expectations resting on games in this next sort of 5-game period? It's
just do our best and look at the next 3 points, and it's that simple.
I'm sure we'll speak about that in 5 games' time, obviously. James Maddison coming back off the international break, his first England cap as well. What's he been like around the training ground? Has he come back in with a bit of a buzz around him, and after finally getting his first cap?
Yeah, not exactly the same. He's a good boy, James. His personality is really good, and before he got his cap, he was fighting and working. Now he's got his cap, and now he's got to fight equally as hard to continue with his form here, and then hopefully that keeps him in with the possibilities of playing. So now he's a young player that's improving all the time, and I'm very pleased for him because, like I say, I felt there was a lot of pressure on him. There was a lot of talk around this first game, and actually when he comes into the game, it's not an easy game to come into because the game, they're comfortable in the game, the opponent's sitting deeper, everyone's quite relaxed, and you're coming into the game to try and show what you can do. So but there's absolutely no question he has the qualities to play at that level, and like I say, it's really just about preference. It's what the coaches and the manager prefer, which is a difficult job because they've got so many good players.
Has it been, you spoke about the pressure there, is it a bit of a weight off his shoulders now he's got that first cap and he can just focus on getting the next one rather than waiting for that first one?
Yeah, I think because of the build-up around it, there has been that, maybe that little sense of when it is going to come. But when you play with the quality that he has and when you work as hard as he do, then you're only hoping it's going to be a matter of time. And in fairness, listen, he got his cap, he's got that now, and now he's got to think about the next ones after that. And he can only do that by performing to a high level here.
You mentioned Matty James, and you've spoken quite highly of him over the last few weeks as well. In terms of looking ahead to the future, is he firmly in your plans, and do you expect to see him playing first team football here before the end of the season, or is it more of a long-term game for Matty?
Yeah, I don't want to put any specific time on it for Matty because it's been a difficult road for him with injuries and whatnot. I think first and foremost, there's no doubt from a tactical perspective and the football idea, he understands what we're looking for and what we want. And I've seen that before I arrived in here. I knew he was a really gifted player, and then playing in this way, he has the opportunities to obviously show those qualities. It's just really about that physicality with him. He's been out for such a long time. For us now, it's just about he's back in with the training group. It's just nursing him through and building up his football fitness, and then we'll see where we're at come the new year. Whether it's a continuation of that, whether he maybe needs a loan period to go and get some actual games. We're not really thinking so much about that. It's just great to see him on the pitch. He's a great guy for the squad. He has big qualities, and he's a real joy to have. And for me, he's a very important player for us within our squad. And if we can get him fit, and if he can have that bit of luck and stay clear of injury, then that'll be great.
Have the lads been giving him any stick for being back out on the training ground? Any sick note stick at going to his way?
No, that's unfair. That because I think. You don't get injured on purpose. It's hard when you're injured. It's when you're indoors and you're having to graft away and work without that unity with your teammates. It can be it's very, very difficult for players. So it's just nice that he can get back with his teammates and get playing again and hopefully playing football, which is what he loves to do.
What's the support been like from them then, or in and around? Because he's been clearly around the place in the gym, I would expect. But so what's it been like for him? Lots of pats on the back and encouragement that way, or what is the encouragement like from the boys?
It's normal. This is a very tight group of players, and all players have been injured probably at some point, so they understand how lonely it can be. But it's very important we've got Matty involved in some coaching elements as well, to take his mind off when he's had that long term, because he's a good thinker of the game. So he's been helping in some coaching elements for our younger teams. But also whilst he's doing that, he's obviously getting fit and working his way back to fitness. And that's just something that we wanted to do, just to take his mind off it, because like I say, it's very difficult for players when they're out for such a long period of time. So he gets so much to offer when he's fit or not fit, but we want to get him back playing again. You
travelled to Brighton on Saturday and playing, who are a team playing under a new manager, and manager who might be trying to implement almost a new kind of style onto Brighton as well. How do you expect them to play in terms of, do you expect them to play in the way that other teams below you in the table have played, or maybe do you expect them to play a little bit more expansively in front of their home supporters?
No, I think when you look at them, whether they play home or away, they play with their identity. They want to build the game out from behind. They get an excellent goalkeeper who's comfortable with the ball at his feet. The centre halves want to build the game. They want to play through you. So we expect them to play the same way.
That sounds quite on message with the sort of, what you say as well about playing your game as well. Would that make it quite an interesting tactical battle between the two sides as who sticks and who twists at certain points in the game?
Not really. No, you look to impose your way in the game, and of course they're playing at home, and that's where they have confidence, so they'll want to play in their style. And of course we're very clear now. It's impulsive now for us to work how we work. Defending, how we press the game, how we can counter press. That's how we play. And then obviously with the ball, you see the movement patterns and the fluency. So it's all becoming natural for us in our game, having worked together in this period of time. So it should be a really good football game. Brighton are notorious for playing a really good way. And like I say, we'll should expect a good game and a tough game.
Thank you very much. Good luck on Saturday.
Pleasure. Thank you.
Next door for Dailies.
Okay. Thanks, Brendan.